when we say, when we draw it from bottom to top, it's wrong. Why? Because before it was here. Isn't your zero broken here? When in this zone, it breaks your zero, means that before you had a major Fibonacci and then another time frame to break the price like here. So what do? You put your time frame higher. Yeah, you put your time frame higher, like here, daily. You had a high here. You had a high at the top, and you had a high at the bottom. Okay. So price is going up to create this Fibonacci. Excuse me, was this the major Fibonacci that you've drawn? Yes, yes. Whenever your zero Fibonacci breaks, like now we have drawn it from the bottom to the top. Imagine we didn't have this zone and we draw it from here to here, is exactly like this. But when your zero breaks, you shouldn't expect the price to go up again. So you shouldn't update the Fibonacci and put it here. It's not right. It's not right here. So whenever I saw that my zero break, I should do it all over again. No, say it like this. Whenever your zero of Fibonacci breaks, know that you had a major Fibonacci on a higher time frame. Like in the 4-hour time period, I have a major Fibonacci. Like it's from here to the bottom. It would be this. It would be this trend to here. The price is going to break this Fibonacci. Right now, dollar to franc Fibonacci is on 61. But when you're doing it in a short time frame, you won't see it. And you would put it here. So this is wrong. It has been broken once in this zone. So when my zero breaks, I can't fool myself and put it higher or here. So you should think of it quickly, that you had a more major Fibonacci on a higher time frame. I want to teach you a technique today that makes you analyze in higher time frames and go down. But when you sit behind the chart and you're in the 4-hour time frame and you draw the Fibonacci, you won't see anything else. You see it's breaking and getting again because you had a Fibonacci on a higher time frame. This Fibonacci is trying to get drawn, but you won't see it in the low time frame. It's a minor Fibonacci that makes a major Fibonacci. So whenever your zero Fibonacci breaks, know that there's a more major Fibonacci on a higher time frame. And the Fibonacci of 61 is like this again. When you see your 61 is breaking, know that there's a more major Fibonacci. Did you get it? Yes, yes. Like in this chart, like Canada is like this. I'll give you access. Draw the Fibonacci for me. You've drawn it wrong again. The zero has been broken here. The zero has been broken. We should go on a higher time frame. Yes. Okay. Erase your last Fibonacci so it wouldn't be mixed. We have Fibonacci in this session, right? Yes, yes. Draw the higher Fibonacci. No, it's your last one. It's the old one. Let me tell you something here. Like you have drawn Fibonacci from here to here, but this has had its drops, so you would know that this Fibonacci has been performed. So what would it be? It's the high on top to the high on the bottom. You see that you've drawn it from here to here. You didn't see the drop here? When it has gone down to the maximum and it wants to pull it back again, it means it's performed, right? So what do? We have this here. We have like a V angle here. So it should be the high on the top to the high on the bottom. It has broken the 89 Fibonacci and is pulling back. So when you see that when your 100 here is breaking, know that there's a more major Fibonacci. You should make your time on a weekly or monthly. We put it on weekly. When you're in a weekly time frame, you draw it from the high on the bottom to the high on the top. But that's another technique that I will teach you today to change the bases. When this 100 breaks, when you draw it like this and the 100 breaks, you should go for the weekly time frame and draw its major Fibonacci. That right now your price is stuck in 78 for a few months now. Did you understand this? I will pull up another chart, like dollar to franc chart. If my price breaks 100 Fibonacci, I know that in higher time I have a more major Fibonacci. What would be higher than this would be here. This to this. Or it wants to break the 78. Or if my price past this zone, I've done a Fibonacci here, and it breaks my zero, I don't have the right to update it unless that my price is completely closed. That there's some formulas for it that will teach you later. So when my zero breaks, I know that there's a major Fibonacci. What should I do? I should draw my more major Fibonacci. So when my zero breaks, my price wants to break the 89. If my 100 breaks, know that there's a more major Fibonacci. So like break my 50. So all in all, if your zero breaks, you don't have the right to take the base of the zero, and there's a high here, you shouldn't put it here. You're fooling yourself, because the zero will break again and will go up again. And you would trade in these, and your trade would go wrong. Hello. Did you understand this? Yes. Yes, yes, I got it. Thank you.
ممنونم استاد شبتون بخیر استاد کلاس رسما شروع بشه من دو تا سوال داشتم
I have
روی
two
مطلب
questions before the class starts.
شاکیان از من
Some
که من
people
زیاد
say
سوال
I ask
میپرسم
too much. No, it's good. It's really good.
من همینو میخوام بگم شما که زحمت کشیدید
You
محدودیت
didn't
کلاسی برای
put
ما
any
تعریف نکردید
boundaries
که
for
بگید
us.
مثلا من 6 جلسه با شما کلاس دارم شما
Even
اگه
if
6
our
جلسه با من
classes
8
takes
جلسه
more
هم بشه تو
time,
واقعا
you would
بزرگوارید
still teach
همه
us.
رو دارید میگید پس من
One of the options that I'm for my class is, one, I don't have boundaries. Two, my students should ask their questions. Because these questions make the details more clear. Some said that I'm breaking the concentration of the class. No, 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 no. You should, you must ask. Because these questions would be the answer for others.
آخه توی گروه بعضی از دوستان شاکی بودن دیگه خواستم این مسئله
Like, your class has 27, 28 people. I don't know where the others are. But among these, like 3 or 4 people only ask their questions. I will teach, and if you ask, I will put time for it. Like some people may say that because I don't know Forex, I'm too shy to do it. Like the others are professional and they would do it. We don't have anything like this here. Ask. And if this class that I started on 10 p.m., if it gets long as 3 a.m., I will wait and we be seated here. There's no boundaries like this. But if someone gets tired, I will end the class. There's no problem. Okay. I had a few problems about the last session topic. Can you draw a reverse Fibonacci for me? Thank you. Can you explain the chart before? You drew that from bottom to top, but you drew this from top to bottom. It's the exact same thing that our friend asked. Your questions are the same. Let me answer one by one. I have free time and I will answer you. So, about the same direction Fibonacci and reverse center Fibonacci, my trend is downtrend here. From trend line we can get it easier. Your microphone has problems. I don't hear you. Can you repeat again? I didn't have your voice. Okay, they got disconnected. So, I have a downtrend. According to the trend line, you could see. The rule of Fibonacci is this. Like if a trend is downtrend, and the price is correcting to the top, my trend is downtrend, and my price is correcting to upwards. Fibonacci should be from top to bottom. And the rule was 23, 50, 61 are it's in one way, and whenever there's a resistance, the price would go down, and if it breaks, the price would go up. But when my trend is downtrend, it's completely downtrend according to the trend line. My corrective wave is upwards. So elasticity is downwards. If I draw Fibonacci from top to bottom, 61 will be on top. Price is downwards, and the 61 is on top. It's your reverse Fibonacci. In reverse Fibonacci, when you draw the line, your most powerful resistance is 50. And the buys I do here is 38 to 50. And I don't pass the 50. So if I open an order in 38, I shouldn't put my take profit on 61. You shouldn't do that, because your elasticity is downwards, and the most powerful is 50, not 61. Okay. Now, in the reverse Fibonacci that I've drawn, if my 50 breaks, it means that my trend has changed. No, I mean the middle trend that was downwards. If it breaks my 50, I know that my middle trend and elasticity was downwards. It would change and go upwards. So my elasticity, most of it is upwards, and the trades should be buying mostly. We said that if 61 breaks, 50 is warning, and 61 is the confirmation. When my 50 breaks, it is giving me a warning that the trend has changed, and it's became from downwards to upwards. And usually it's like this in Fibonacci, like 80 to 90%. When it breaks the 50, it will give its confirmation with it, and then you can easily get your confirmation. But for now, according to your Fibonacci, if it passes your 50 and gets your 61, you should know here that your downtrend has completely ended and it's now uptrend. I don't mean one candle or two candle. I mean the middle wave trends. I mean the major wave by the major trend. But when it goes down a little or upwards a little, I think that the whole wave has been affected. Don't see one candle or two candles. You should look at the whole wave. Like here, the waves have been downwards. So when it breaks my 61, I know that the downwards has ended and it has gone upwards. And that means that my trend is upwards. From here has gone to here, from here to here, and the wave would be upwards. It's about the medium-term waves and the major ones. You shouldn't, according to one candle or two candle, think that the whole trend has ended and has reversed. Well, like one candle can drop to here, but another one can go upwards again. I know trend line. I know my long term was downwards and my medium term also was downwards. When I draw the middle one, and I drew from the middle high to the bottom, know that it can break the 50 and 61. So you should be aware here that if I open an order here and do buying, I shouldn't look at the drop of the one candle or two candles. I should wait for it to go upwards. And I shouldn't put stop loss here. Like, according to the signals that I give you now, you would go to negative, and tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, it would hit my targets. Because I'm looking at it by waves. I don't care about the candles. Look in this Fibonacci that I've drawn, and it has broken my 61. I know that my trend is upwards. So in this price zone, there should be a fractal. There should be a high getting formed. So you could draw your trend line like this one. The trend line is upwards. Yeah, it became from downtrend to uptrend. It would be here, this. Your trend would be in this channel for the future, not in this one. Because according to the rule of Fibonacci, it has given you warning, and it confirmed it, and your whole trend has changed. Like here, in here, our past of the market was this. I don't care about these drops here. My market was this zone. I didn't have this and on. Can I like do that? Is it recording now? Yes. I didn't have this. What was my trend? It was downtrend. My whole wave was downwards. I drew my Fibonacci from top to bottom. My most powerful resistances would be 38 or 50. If my target is 50, I should buy above the 38 and exit before it gets to 50. I shouldn't leave the order open, go to profit, it pulls back, and then it gets closed with loss. But if you're 50 here, like it hasn't even had the power to break the 38. I've drawn the major Fibonacci here. When you draw reverse Fibonacci,
سلام خوبی؟ سلام کجایی؟ رسیدم خودم عجب باشه خدافظ یه لحظه وای اصلا همون
okay, I muted them. From the top to the bottom, I drew it. My Fibonacci was 38. When I draw my Fibonacci from top to bottom, I had an uptrend. It was an uptrend, it was bullish. See here? Here, my trend was uptrend. When I do it from bottom to top, it would break our 61. When it can break my 61, I know my elasticity has become from upwards to downwards. So when I have a high, one on the cap and one on the floor, I know there is a Fibonacci. I draw my Fibonacci first, from top to bottom first, and then I see my wave, the past one. What was my past wave? It was upwards. My price was corrected to the bottom. When the price wants to go up, my elasticity is downwards now. So the most powerful resistance that I have is 38 to 50. If it can break my 50, pulls back, my whole trend is downwards. But the 30A blocks it. So you can risk here without the candlestick. Open a buying order, you should put your stop loss above the pivot. Leave the order open, long term or medium term, and your target would be 11. Don't care about the 23, do it 11. In the major Fibonacci, not the minor one. Because in the minor one, you should exit on 23. But if it breaks my 23, I can buy above it, and I would put my take profit on 50 and exit before it. But I can do a selling position here. Put the stop loss on the top, and I would take my profit from 23 to 11. If it breaks my 50, I know that my price can easily go to 61. And in the future, it would break 78 to 89. So if I want to do positions, I should do buying, not selling. I would do selling with really low sizes. Like this has happened here. My trend was downwards. I drew my Fibonacci from top to bottom. My price could break the 50. It gave me a warning, and the 61 got me a confirmation. So my downtrend has ended. It didn't go up a little to drop like rapidly to the bottom. No, it goes up, it pulls back the half of the trend, it creates a trend change, so you can draw this trend line, and it would form a high here, this would be a high, and it would form candles upwards until here, and then it would go half of the trend that had gone up and puts a high here and then goes upwards again. So the trend I have here is what is upwards, is uptrend. I have two highs from bottom to top. What's my price right now? It's 38. In this trend, I don't even expect the 61 because the trend is upwards and my Fibonacci is reversed. The 61 is on the bottom. So here, I can risk here, do a buy position here, and I would get my profit from here. But when it got to here, I can do a buy position with higher risk because it's the most powerful pivot I have. Buy it from here, and then the high term trades get the more major Fibonacci. What does that mean? It means that I draw this to this. I erase this one. It has broken my 89 once. It would be here. Where will be the next one? 50. Where's the 50? Because we had a high before, it has dropped down. Like, if I do a buy position here, and I should open a long-term trade and start doing short-term trades, according to pivots or another techniques. So what's the use of this reverse and same direction Fibonacci? You know the elasticity. You know what risk you should take. You know that when you open a buying position here, you shouldn't worry about it because it can break this upper zone. But if you don't care about the bulk of it, when one candle drops, either it calls marginous or the content will be too much, it would make us sleepless. We should sit by it and see what happens in the market. The most of the trades I do in this 1 year, I do long term mostly. So if I do buy positions here, I put my targets in the medium term time period. If it drops down here, I don't worry about it. I say there's no problem, my price is upwards, but I've considered the bulk. No, it's a 100% rule. Yes, it's a rule. It's a constant thing. So you're sure that it won't come back down ever again. The time that it would go back down, that it wants to break your main pivots. Like if I do buy here, I put my price stop loss under my confirmation, under 61. I would put it under 61. With low risk, I put it under 50. The drop is not important for me because my elasticity is upwards. So when my trend reverses again, it can break the 61. It would touch the 61. Because if it touches it, because the maximum it would go up, it would be 50 or 38. It drops down to 78 and 89. I won't hit my target. It's all about the trades that you do. When you sit behind the system for the first time, like you say, I want to do medium term trade. You should find your targets. Like where your price will go in the next week or 3 or 4 days later. When I do buying positions and I drop down until here, I shouldn't worry. You should consider all of these. Like Euro, everyone think that we had a loss. But in Euro, I made a mistake. But I had put my stop loss here. But I exited here. When my price was in low, it broke the major Fibonacci. I wasn't thinking of the major Fibonacci. One we had from bottom to top, here. Exactly on the 89 Fibonacci. We didn't see this. If I knew it would be this, and my trade was heavy, and I changed the place of my stop loss to here. If it goes to it, it would call margin me. So I exited. And I knew it would reach 89. But I couldn't trade. With 10,000 negative, I exited. Excuse me. You said that I would change to long term. You're in the H4 right now. And you had a forecast in the 4-hour time period. Do you go straight to the weekly time frame? I had a D1 here. I didn't go to the weekly because it would be this Fibonacci to this Fibonacci. I should find my pivots first. Like you should draw your Fibonacci to see. You can say it by mind. Like my major Fibonacci was here. In the past, my price has broken the 61 and the pullback was 50 and the price got under. It's going back and forth between 61 and 50. But I have a Fibonacci between here. It would be the daily one. And it has happened exactly like this. I saw it last night. I saw that it's breaking everything. So I said that I should draw the major Fibonacci first. I should teach you this tonight. When you don't confuse it and you can get them all, it's the rule that you should start from the weekly and start drawing Fibonacci's. Monthly, I draw my Fibonacci. Would be from the high on the bottom to the high on the top. 61 has formed a high and then it got a corrective wave. Isn't it your V bottom right now? And what's gonna happen after? It would be a V top on the condition that it closes completely. Let me erase these. Look, here to here. Here, my price is closed completely. That I say my Fibonacci F61 is completely closed, and what doesn't want to hit the 78, you know that the price is above 50 and wants to hit the 38. So when it hasn't hit the 38, I'm drawing this Fibonacci with risking, because every moment it may break my zero. So it was a confirmation. That's what? That's the weekly time frame. In the weekly time frame, when you do it from the top to bottom, your price is under 23. And the rule is that if the price is not under 23, it's not confirmed. And if I draw the Fibonacci from bottom to top, it would be 50. Until the price is above the 50, I can say that this is my, and it wants to complete my V top. So for now, I say for now, we leave it open, but we pay attention to it, because there's a resistance here, right? So it should be closed until the so the price would go up. I go to my daily time frame. I had a Fibonacci in the daily time frame. From this price to this price. It could break my zero and it gone back inside. When my 11 breaks now, I understood that it had a Fibonacci before that wants to break something, because whenever your price, let me do it like this. I'm drawing the minor Fibonacci. Your price can pass the 89. It's looking for a more major Fibonacci to break. That's the rule. It's a constant. When it passes 89, you should find the more major Fibonacci. And what would be the more major Fibonacci? It would be this, from the bottom to top high. It's my daily 89. And it has hit it many times. But it didn't, it will deactivate my Fibonacci, either when it breaks my 0 or my 100. and then I knew that I have a more major Fibonacci. It's playing in the between of them right now. But when I did the Fibonacci from bottom to top, and I did it by here, and it could pass this 78 here, and it passes an 89, I knew that it would go down more because there's a more major pivot in Fibonacci. So I have a major in Fibonacci. I see that this is here. It's 89, it should have been hit. So this is the end of the V bottom, because the 89 is its maximum. When it can't break the 89, it wants to create a new 80 Fibonacci. Would be here. Would be this Fibonacci. Now I want to check that if my Fibonacci is right or not. It should be on my resistances. The 38 is on the pivot. 23. I have pivot here. And it's on the resistance here. My 50 is on the resistance. The low. And it's pulled back here. And 61. And 78. Low. Candle-like pivot. This is 89 here. It would be in the low. It shows that my Fibonacci is right. And my train has Fibonacci now. So what did I draw here? My reverse Fibonacci. Because my trend was downtrend and it's correcting, I consider 38 to 50 as my most powerful resistances. Where I've opened the buying order, I shouldn't put my take profit at 61. Like if it breaks 50 and it gave us a warning that the downtrend would be uptrend, you shouldn't take this risk. We are reversing. We should say that it should be confirmed, then do it. His mic was on. It wasn't about you. So you've understood this one. But in general, this reverse and same direction tells you what trades you should do. And in the Fibonacci, you should always do it from top to bottom. Like in the monthly is on the maximum low. And it has broken my 61 and 70%, my price will go up again. Because for now, the 61 has closed, but it is not confirmed. So the price would go up. I would do the weekly one, would be like my monthly one. Bottom to top or top to bottom, it has made no difference. The elasticity is in upwards right now. It's like from here to here. I target 38. Let me mute them. For now, it would be 38 until my 23 gets confirmed. So there's some possibilities here that my trend is on the floor. The time I can say that it's not on the floor is when it passes it. Meaning it passes the 61 Fibonacci. If it passes it, it would come to 78. 78 is where I have a pivot. I have the last candle-like pivots. So if I'm trading in the weekly time frame, I should put my stop loss exactly here. I would put it here in the weekly time frame. Where should I put my take profit if it has been confirmed? Would be 38. Exactly here. The Fibonacci is completely right. Why? If you see the here, I want to get a confirmation. You should get a confirmation from Fibonacci to see if it's right or not. They should all be on your Fibonacci. My 61 was this. I had a low in the wave. I had a low in here. 50. I had a resistance here. 38. I have a resistance here. Can you say the numbers for position? Like, what's stop loss on what? And TP is on what? I'm not signaling right now. It's about Fibonacci right now. I say if I do buy order here, my stop loss should be under 61 here. Because if it opens 61, it's completely failed, and the price would drop until 78. But until the time that your 61 hasn't opened, it would stick to my analysis. I'm sorry, excuse me. How much under 61 is under the pivot? If you want to be exact, would be here. We do it by pivots. On the topic of pull back and reverse that you said, reject, reverse, I don't know, reject. Yes. Because that's a possibility. How much under 61 should we consider? Under the pivot. Yes, we should wait. My pivot is here. If it can open the closing an open candle pivot, this analysis has failed. Our analysis has failed. So for now, we should know that we should put it under 61. Why do I say it like this? Because for 1 or 2 candles, I don't say my trend has changed. The time my trend changes is when this breaks. So when if you have paid attention, most of the analyses that I've done have answered you like 3 or 4 days later, because all of them are long term. And I don't even care about the candle that is decreasing. I've opened the buying order here. If it drops, I don't worry, because my target is upwards and the price is upwards. So according to the Fibonacci, if I draw the minor one, I say the time that it is downtrend, you should draw this, meaning destroying the Fibonacci. It either should come hit the 38 or 50. It strikes 38. The 30 has a really powerful pivot, right? Resistance, right? When it goes back here, if you buy, you're wrong, because you're buying in the pivot. I do sell here. I do a little bulk, like have a lot. I do sell here, I exit here, and I do buy here. When I do buy, always this stop loss is under the high, because if my high opens, my pivot opens, and my zero pivot also has broken, and my trend line is also broken and other things. But your price will go up in here, and it passes 38 and 50 as well. So you shouldn't, according to one or two candles, be scared and say that it's downtrend, because you're trading by your analysis. Like this risk and reward is like the take profit should be more than stop loss. But I don't agree with it. Why? Because I say if this zone opens, my analysis has failed. I would stop loss here, it would hit my stop loss and go back again. Excuse me. There's something. It's a risk and reward thing. So according to the last few days trades, I had like 10 trades in the profit with like $3 or $4, but 2 of them has been lost and it was $50. So it has destroyed everything. If there was no risk or reward, there would be like this euro. We had trades in the pounds. We had trades in this. Like this euro. In this euro, where did we put it? The buying order was here. I think it was here. We did a buy here. Where did we put the stop loss? We should update it and put it under the low. Here. The take profit, it said that in the future it would hit this target. When it opens here, it would be that analysis would fail. But if it didn't open, we had a good profit. The analysis got failed here. Like, I will ask you right now, have you ever had a trade that you open an order and you would put your stop loss and it would pull back? Did you have it or not? Yes, we had. So we can't do risk and reward here because you're putting the stop loss wrong. It breaks your stop loss and goes back. But I put my stop loss according to my analysis, that if it opens right here, it would drop down more. Like my low has opened, it would fall down rapidly. Like if I put my stop loss here, I opened a buy order here, and I might put my stop loss here. This candle hit this one, and again came back up. But if you say like this, it wants like a $100,000 account. What was my account was 50,000, and I did like 30,000 of loss. I exited myself. I closed it myself. Because my lot was really heavy. I did like 40 lots trades. That's why I did losses. But if you do investment managing, that wouldn't happen. Like your deposit is $500. I say do it like 5% on it. I see that you're 5% on Australia and 5% on New Zealand. What's the adding of your trade? It's 0.15. You should not exceed 0.05. Your adding should be like 5%. Why would you be call margined if it's 5%? Like instead of exiting with $5, you have come out with $20. Like I've given out the euro signals and the pound. now that your maximum is 5%, do 3% on this one and 2% on that one, so it would be 5%. The whole trade should be 5%. But I give you like 5 charts. Do 1% on each one and you won't ever be call margined. Like Mr. Sadeghi is going as I'm saying. No, he has done investment management. As a greed is really bad. Yeah, I'm saying, like after 15 years, I can't control my greed. I've had so many heavy profits.
میگم به قول قدیمی ها گلومون گشاد شده.
Like $2,000 is like cents for me. I get used to it. So you should control yourself from the beginning. If the greed gets to you, gets to your head, you can't do anything else. I have a question. That to Euro to USD, there that you had a candle and I exited the trade. Now instead of this, given that this closing is equal to more falling down, can we do a reverse on it? Yes, we can. You could hedge it, but I didn't do it. Why? 1. I had a pivot here, right? We had another pivot here. I'm just saying it. You had another pivot here. It was the 89 of Fibonacci. Yeah, it was like this. If I did sell position here, if I hedged here, if it wanted to block it and it would pull back, my whole trade would be stuck and I would be all in loss because I did in 2 different pivots. But if I put selling here, in short-term orders, you can do that. But if you know that your price is going to drop until here and you put a selling position here and you have a pivot in the way, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't suggest it. And I didn't do it myself either. I could multiply it by 2. I would multiply it. I don't have a pivot here and here. And I would do 20 to 30 lots and my selling would be in negative. And I close the whole deal and come out with 0. But here I had pivot and it was a risk to do it. And if it would come back, the whole trade would be stuck. Where do you suggest to hedge? And it would be easy. Or don't even do it. Let me teach you hedging on the scalping trades. Let me finish Fibonacci first. I have a question for Fibonacci. Like right now in 4 hours, I draw a minor Fibonacci. To have an overly look on the market, should I go to daily and draw its Fibonacci so it wouldn't get to this point? This 4 hours in daily, their Fibonacci is the same. Yeah, the one that I did in the higher time frames, look like it's about being in the beginning of the week. Like in the beginning of the week, like on Saturday, it's my market is on the Sunday. If it's my Saturday, according to candle, I know I have a Fibonacci. I would draw this to this. Or if you want to do major, connect this to this. I don't care about the last one. This one. I connected this to this. When my price is in the beginning of my Fibonacci, I know that it would hit these targets in the future. But if your target is between 38 and 50, not 38 and 50, between them, losing that Fibonacci is useless. The loss of that Fibonacci is useless because you've entered in the middle of the thing. Excuse me. If we didn't know pivots, if we want to draw the Fibonacci, should we do it from the bottom to top? No, I did it by the high. You know the pivots, so you knew that. No, I did it according to the highs, not the pivots. No, I mean like on the left side, and the high on the left side. Here? Yes, yes, yes. If we didn't know it, if we draw it from there, I would draw it so you see. You mean from here to here, right? Yes, yes. What's the difference between this Fibonacci and this one? It's exactly the same. And the resistances are the same. To here. I didn't even do it according to the pivots. That's what I'm saying. Last session I exactly said this. Whenever you have a candle with a long shadow and on the top of it it has fractals on the end of the trend, you can draw Fibonacci. Like here, the Fibonacci didn't got formed. I saw this long high and the price couldn't pass it. That's when I said that I can have this Fibonacci for now. Whenever you saw a candle with a long shadow, the shadow should be long. Know that it wants to create the Fibonacci. But if one of these candles has passed this, you would consider the last Fibonacci. Because I didn't have a high here. Like right now, for tonight, it will happen tonight. This candle would finish as a increasing one. This was a V bottom, it should be a V top. So when it starts working, I know that there's should be a Fibonacci. Would be this. You should memorize them. Imagine that is a shadow. Do it in your mind like this. Next candle has finished and the distance is really long. So it is a high now because the next candle would form here. It's a high and the next candle would form here. It would be this. You should do the Fibonacci sooner. Did you get it? Yes, yes. It's exactly like this. There's no difference. The shadow is longer than the both of the sides of the candle, and the next candle has started working, so I can put a Fibonacci here. Whenever you saw something like this, a candle with a shadow from two sides that are longer than the body, It's a high. So we have a Fibonacci. It's a constant. So you will know sooner that you have a Fibonacci. Some people would wait for it to form and put the fractals in, but you have lost your trend. Where are you wanting to enter? And for Euro, this exactly has happened. This candle finishes here. This candle finishes here. How much would it want to empty the whole thing? It can't. This candle's shadows are shorter than its two sides. So it's Fibonacci. You can draw your Fibonacci. I want to see that my trend is down enough to create a Fibonacci or not. My 23 is on the pivot, it's right. The 38 is on pivot, it's right. 50 is on the pivot, it's right. The 61 is a pivot, it's right. I know that my trend has a Fibonacci. That's how I factorize. Like if the break was here, I would draw my Fibonacci. If the numbers of the Fibonacci were not on the pivots, I would say that my trend does not have a Fibonacci. But if I have drawn it, and my Fibonacci numbers were on the pivots, I would know that my trend had a Fibonacci. Nothing is without a reason. You can't find a thing in the market that your Fibonacci numbers would be on your pivot and you wouldn't perform right. So to find your resistances in the 4-hour time frame, you had a reversal. You can buy here. Now it's forming the V top. It has formed the V bottom. It's forming the V top now. It's confirmed. You can't say it's not confirmed. Or either it's 50 here or 61. If it comes to 61 and passes it, you have a resistance here. What? Shouldn't it break the 38 to be a confirmation? No. Here, what's the confirmation? You said it has confirmed to form a V top. Shouldn't it break the 38 to get a confirmation? No. Memorize it. It's by experience. It hasn't broken the 38. It has gone up a little too much. So the next candle, where would it form? It would form here, right? Yes. If it forms here, the V top has already been formed. So we don't get the possibility of breaking the 38 to hit the last pivot. No, the last one. Here? No. Lower. Oh, here? It would mess up the angle. These whole candles are according to some patterns. Like in the chart, I don't have a candle that has increased this much. The next candle would form here, right? This kind of empty angle would form according to the patterns. When it forms here, I shouldn't let it mess it up. It's like this here. The next candle that has been formed, it has formed its V top. When it has gone here, it has formed its V top now. This like angle-like thing. Like here, when this candle has gone up this much, it has formed this angle. Why would it break it, this candle? There's something in the market, because I've seen it too much, I memorized. It's all patterns. Like some shapes, when you have memorized some patterns, you know that you can find this kind of thing in the past of the market. Like sometimes in the group chat, I would surely say that it would come up to this point. Because these are the shapes. I will teach you the shapes at the end. I will teach you these by the movements of the mouse. It's an experiencing thing. It's really hard to teach. Like here, if you look at the angle, the next candle will form here, right? Because if you want it or not, the candle would form here. In this low in the V top, has it been formed or not? It would be this V top. Yes, if it hadn't created it, if it were like the zone, yes, I would say that it may go down. But it passed these and formed this kind of a hole. It formed this kind of a V top in this low. So when it forms a V top, it means that it wants to make the whole shape. And it all depends on the candles here. If the candles were here, you would say, yes, the next one will be formed, and the V top wouldn't be formed, and it would go down. Like the next candle is like this. No. The last V top. Can you access me to the mouse? You have access. Click. You see here, it has gone up and it's really larger than the last one. It has made the V top. But in the next candle, it has fallen rapidly. Where did it finish? How did it finish? It's a 50-50 candle. Put a line above its shadow. When this candle, when you fix it, it would be exactly on the edge of its shadow. Fix on the shadow. Here. Click so my mouse would be activated. Here. Like here, we call it open closing pivot. And we have a low pivot as well. When this candle finishes on a pivot, it's overlapping. You haven't learned the candlestick yet. That's because that is the reason it has fallen down rapidly. But I don't have a candle like this here. It is really different. Let me teach these in the candlestick topic and its patterns. It will confuse you like this. Just do it according to Fibonacci. Didn't we say that when it is above 23, it's confirmed, right? When it passes 38, in 38 I have two pivots. But if you've paid attention to this candle, it is really far from this here. So whenever the price gets far from the central pivot, it means the pivot is so powerful that the price is getting far from it. let me teach you these in pivotology and candlestick. After this, we will go to pivot topic.
جناب استاد ببخشید اگر
Excuse me.
ممکن
If
هست
it is possible,
سوالی اگر اعضا کردن
if the members
مونده
ask the
شده
question,
سوال نشه خیلی فکر کنم بهتر باشه مخشوش هم نمیشه
if
من
the
الان
members have
سوال قبلی
questions,
بود
like you
یکی
answered
شاید
my
جواب
last
دادید
questions
و
about the
دیگه
hedging,
کردم یکی شاید میون مونده یه سوالی شد رفتیم اصلا توی بحثی
but you changed to
نه
another topic for
عذرخواهی
the
میکنم
questions.
ببخشید این جسارت میشه این اگر یک کسی سوالی کرد
If someone
تا
asks the
آخر
question,
جوابشو بگیره بعد از اینکه جوابش
can
رو
you answer
بگیره
completely
سوال دیگری
and
هست اگر
then
مطرح بشه این باعث
ask
میشه که
another
یه
question?
خدشاشی روی سوالات و گرفتن جواب ها پیش
It
نیاد
wouldn't mess up like this. Okay, okay.
ببخشید استاد من یه سوال دارم.
Excuse me, I have a question.
پس بذار من یه لحظه سوالت بپرسم. الان آقای من فامیلتون نمیدونم
میرجانی
آقای میرجانی سوالی که من نسبت جوابش دادم کدوم بود؟
What was the question that you asked?
همین یورو به یو اس دی
This Euro to USD one.
در تایم 4 ساعته
In the 4-hour time period,
جزئیش رو زدید خب
you draw the minor Fibonacci.
گفتید که من یه اشتباهی کردم
You said that I made a
من
mistake
فیبوی کلی را که تو دی یک بود ندیدم
and that
متوجه نشدم
major Fibonacci that was in the daily one, I didn't see it.
من چیکار
The
کنم؟
question is here now.
چیکار کنیم
What
که
do we
این
do
اشتباه دیگه مثلا تکرار
to
نشه
not
که
make this
بگیم
mistake?
متوجه نشدم یه فیبوی تایم بزرگتر داشته من حواسم نبوده ما به این اشتباه
Like,
نیفتیم
what to do to not make these kind of mistakes?
در فیبوناچی که
So when you draw the Fibonacci, the price is here. And you have drawn this Fibonacci in the 78. I don't remember where did we do buy position. On the 78, when you do buy position,
زیرش حد ضرر 89
you should put the stop loss under the 78 or under 89. When the 78 breaks, you know it would go up to 789. It's a low on 789. What did we do here? Look, I updated my stop loss and put it under the 89. When your trend passes the 89, you know that you have a more major Fibonacci. That's when you know. When it passes past your 89, know that there's a more major Fibonacci. Not 78, not 61, just 89. Don't care about the 100. When Fibonacci, when your price passes 89, another number is also there. 127. No, it's 127. It has pulled back from 127. When it passed your 89, know that there's a more major Fibonacci. It was our error that we bought on the 78. Because according to candlestick, it had a down signal, meaning it closed badly. It would come here and like creates a shadow and then it could go up, but it didn't happen. And the blame was on us. And it would be like a risky trades. If we put the stop loss under 29, we would know that there's a more major Fibonacci. Put the bases on 89. Like 78 has pulled back. Oh. Like if I do it here, this high to this high, it would be pulled back in 89. But if it passed 89, it would be this Fibonacci.
فیبوناچی رو باید آپدیتش میکرد.
We should have updated Fibonacci. But when the 89 breaks, you know that there's a more major Fibonacci. The blame was on us and on the trickstery of the market. If you didn't do these mistakes, you would be a billionaire now. Is it necessary that in the 4-hour time frame, and we are drawing Fibonacci line, should we draw a Fibonacci in the daily one? Yes. Yes, you should. I'm saying do it from the higher time frame to the bottom. Put a line on your Fibonacci numbers for not being crowded. Like if I draw a Fibonacci here, if I do a weekly one as well, these lines would get mixed up with each other. I go with here, but I know that the end is 89. And then I erase my Fibonacci. After this, I know that it would go to 89. And then I would draw this. Connect this to this. So if my price goes under here, the lines that I have made, you know that this right now, Fibonacci is like X%. If it passes, I would know. And if I had a buy here, I should exit. With lines, you should mark for yourself. You should put the bases on 89. If it passes it, know that there's a more major Fibonacci. Thank you. I have a question. Can you activate my mouse? One of the sirs asked some question. Was it you? Oh, okay. It was me. Mr. Sahrawi. Mr. Sahrawi. Oh, okay. Click and you will be accessed. I understood the reverse and same direction Fibonacci, but I hadn't understood one thing. I draw this wager one from top to bottom. My past was what? It was downtrend. I have drawn this Fibonacci, but the price was sideways right now. Should I consider this or my major wave? That my Fibonacci is reversed or same direction. The Fibonacci that you've drawn is in the middle one. For not doing this mistake, zoom in whatever I do. It's like you're considering the whole thing because you're just seeing this. But if you zoom in, you would see your main waves. Now that you're zoomed out, it's like the whole wave is there, but it's tricking you. But your whole wave is this. So you have drawn a middle Fibonacci. If you wanted to draw minor Fibonacci, should we look at the major wave, right? Yes. Because I'm teaching, I'm zooming. But it's zoomed out when I'm working. Because a lot of pivots you're seeing, you will see a lot of waves a lot easier. And your pivots would be seen, the patterns would be a lot harder if you zoomed in. Thank you. You said recently you do medium-term trades because it's really moody. I'm really impatient. What do you suggest for me?
شما نیست، این مشکل همه.
It's not your problem, it's everybody's problem.
یه کار باید بکنین. حالا بزنین تحلیلاتش رو که یاد گرفتین.
When you learned your analysis,
من الان خودم خیلی ناراحتم، واقعا ناراحتم.
like I'm really upset right now
که به شما دادم یه چیزی نزدیک ضررده شد.
because the signals that I gave you was really mixed up. Don't ask me. I'm really upset right now. Let me give you signals right now.
الان یادم اومد بهتون بگم. نه اینو بگم یادت بهتون بگم. اصلا این ما ربطی به اصلا به سوال شما اصلا نداره. خب
It doesn't have anything to do with your question. I'm so upset that I didn't answer any of you in the group chat because it's bad for me to give the students the signal that is give them losses. I'm telling everybody right now, don't ask me that is this chart good or not. If it's good, I would tell you. That's what I'm doing with Mrs. Sharifi and Mr. Sadeghi. And they get good profits. The best thing that I can tell you is that you say I'm an impatient person. And I want to get profits in 22 or 3 hours. No, I should want to do on the daily, on the daytime. Like I want to close my positions in the daytime. Like I don't want to sleep with an order open. Be sure that you will be stuck in 1 out of like 3 of them. Like some of them may go sideways and it would be stuck. So how do you do that? Unless you do scalping. So your suggestion is scalping, right? Don't do it in the morning. I know that some of you trade in the morning. Do it like in the 5 in the evening. When you get signals, like and the maximum you will get out of it at 9 p.m. In the 9 or 9.5, there's no candle you can get. Unless your market gets sideways. If you learn the candlestick, you can see what's gonna happen. Like 3 or 4 in the morning, I scalp. So that's why I'm awake. In each time frame that we work in, we should draw these 3 types of pivots. Like we're in 4-hour time frame. We do a major Fibonacci, a middle one, and a minor one. Should we combine them or not? You should do that. Because you have a thing that it would break your daily pivot. If you don't draw it, it's a really big mistake. No. In that time. Not in the higher time frame. In that time, like in 4 hours or daily. We should draw its minor, middle, and major one. Fibonacci. Yes, I got it. Or should we combine them? Yes, draw them so you would know that your price is in what pivot.
من الان اینجوری فهمیدم دقیقاً چی میگی. ببینید
I got exactly what you're saying.
وقتی که من
Like
دارم
here,
پیوتامو انتخاب
when I'm
میکنم
choosing my pivot,
پیوت روزمه
this is my daily pivot.
اینجا که دارم انتخاب میکنم تو همون
Where I'm
تایمش فرق
choosing,
ندادم دیگه.
I haven't changed the time frame.
پیوت چیزمه مثلا هفتگی.
This is my like weekly
خب
pivot.
پیوتاتو همه باید انتخاب کنی.
Because you have to choose your pivots. But like if you're in the 4-hour time frame, you choose your pivot and then you draw it.
حالا اینجا دستی دارین الان یاد میگیره.
But you're doing,
الان یادتون نمیدم. شما وقتی
you're not doing automatically.
بندازی دیگه نیاز نیست بگردی پیدا کنی.
When you have the tools, you don't have to find it by yourself.
سوال من این بود
The question was
مثلا الان تایم
that
4 ساعته
we are working in the 4-hour time period.
هم فیبوی کلی
We
رو
should
بزنم، هم جزئی
draw
هم
the
میانه.
major one, Fibonacci, the middle one, and minor one.
دیگه فرقی نمیکنه. میشه پیوت
همون
It would be your pivots. It doesn't have a difference. It would be your major pivot, middle pivot, and your minor pivot. Okay, thank you.
یکی از دوستان دیگه سوال داشت.
One of the friends had a question.
استاد ببخشید.
Excuse me.
بعض این که میگید مثلا یه پیوتی
You say that a pivot breaks.
حالا بعضیا مثلا میگن شکستن یعنی که دو تا یا
Sometimes say that breaks is like it would pass it like 2 or 3 candles. But when it's like that, it gets close to the next level. So can you explain to me about this breaking? It's
مثلا میگن دو سه تا کندل رد بشه ببخشید.
about the pivots topic. You don't want to enter in the middle of the work, right? So it's wrong. Because this is the pivot. This pivot has been broken. You can't wait for another candle to form here to say that it has fully broken. Like losing 10 pips and then get 2 or 3 pips. It's about the types of pivot. You have 3 types of pivots. From that, you would know that you should enter right here or not. Is it powerful or not? Will it break or not? Next session, I will explain them all to you.
بذار من این فیبوناچی رو آخرین مطلبش امروز بگم. یکی از دوستان صحبت کرد که
One of you asked that if you teach candlestick right now, it would be better, but it's not. It would confuse you. Let me close the Fibonacci topic.
مثلا مسخره‌ایه یا به درد نخوریه. شاید یه تعدادتون اصلا بلد باشین.
Some of you may even know it.
من بحث فیبوناچی الان تمومش
I would finish the Fibonacci topic right now. According to the Fibonacci, there's another technique. When you're Fibonacci, I saw a trend here. Where was it? Look here. When I see if it happened or not. Okay. When I draw this Fibonacci, right, my 61 has been broken. Whenever it breaks, just and only take the base of the 0, put it on the last high that has been formed for you. The last high. The right form is this. Like imagine your Fibonacci of 0 has been broken. No, 61. Your 61 is fully broken. And this is your major Fibonacci. And you want it to come to 78. And it makes a difference. Because you're starting to trade with these tools. Take the base of the 0, put it on the last high that has been formed for you. Like here, where's my 50? Shouldn't we get the highest high? No. Here, the whole thing has been made. the main drop has been made.
ریزش اصلی از اینجا شروع شده.
The main drop has started from here. This is your base.
اینو بذارین جلسه آینده بهتون بگم یا بذارین یه جور دیگه بهتون.
Let me tell you like in another way.
یه کار بکنید. اینو
Do something.
سوالی که شما
This question that you asked,
خب چون مبحث ثابت فرق نمیکنه. الان دارم بهتون میگم. اینو یادم بیارین. حتما
remind me
جلسه آینده
to answer you in the next session.
بهتون بگم چرا از اینجا نگرفتم.
Why didn't I take it from here? Because the topic is really large.
ببینید فرض کن اصلا این نیست. فرض کن اصلا مرکز
Imagine the center is not this. It would be this,
که منم شکست.
and it has broken my 61.
عدد بعدی من چنده؟
What is my next number?
78 میگن نیست.
Isn't it 78? Yes.
میشه اینجا خط
I draw a line here,
یادم نره. اینجا 78.
so I won't forget.
خط 60 که من شکست پایه 3.
The base of the 0, just 0. I take it and put it on the last high that has been formed.
حتی اگه که اینجا ایجاد شد میذاشتم
Even if it was formed here, I would put it here. In the way, the 61 becomes 38. 38 would be 61. There's a 50 in between them. You have a pivot in between them. And this is my 78, that 61 is on it. This is where I have a pivot. You see, it makes no difference now. Like if you've paid attention, sometimes your price has gone upper than 61 and it has gone down and makes a shadow. So there's a pivot here. It always have a pivot. To know sooner and easier, like I see that my 61 has been broken, I do a buy position. I shouldn't put my take profit fixed on 78. I take the base of the 0 and put it on the last high that has been formed. Don't touch the top part. Where was the 50? It was a resistance. So we should exit on the 50. You should exit and it would go down until here, and then again enter the buying position and then go to 61. But when your 50 got broken, enter the buy again. Like here. The top high to here. Here, my 61 got broken, right? It gone up and broke my 61. Like 70 to 80%, there's a pullback here until the 50 Fibonacci into 38, and then again it breaks your 61. It usually breaks the 61 on the second try. It has happened. It has formed the high. You had a drop here, right? It has been fixed with this right now. I put it on the last high. Okay. I go down to see it. This one. Which one? Which one doesn't count as a top? The highest one is this. Here? Hello? Yes, there. Here? Yes. No, it hasn't been formed yet. It hasn't been confirmed yet. Yes, if it was confirmed, no, the full confirmation. If it has been confirmed, I would put it here. We usually can say that there's a high, that it gets far a lot, or this candle gets finished. Like if you've paid attention, the candle that has a long shadow and 2 candles are after it with distance. So because we're in the last hours of the market, we can get it. But we're in the beginning, don't confuse yourself. I have a high here, I put it here. I would get my minor pivots from it. Like I have a little stop here. That's the pivots of the 61. That's 78 and 89. But if I want to update it and put it here, I can open a good pie position is when it passes 78 and gets to the 89. Now that it's on the 50, I do a buy position and put my stop loss under 50. Now here is that it's good that you have understood what Fibonacci is. And it should be drawn is when the 61 Fibonacci is broken. Like in another chart, like here. Here, the 61 has been broken. Now it has been broken. I put it on the last high that has been formed. I have a good buy position. And it will straight go up. Is when one is that my 61 gets broken, or here that I am would be above 23. It would be like the normal Fibonacci. There's no difference. Like we imagine we have erased these. When is your under 23, do your buy position and go to the next. And when it breaks the 0, means that the price want to go down, fall rapidly. In the gold chart, this to this. My 61 got broken. The last one was this. And it is pulled back from 78. And what was the last one? Was this. Right? I put my time frame lower so the chart would open. Right now, it's going back and forth between these two. Like, it would pass this 50 and get to 61, or it falls. It's right now it's sideways. The time it goes down, and you should do buy on the 23. But the rule is, I've never traded on the drop of them. What did I do? Like here, 61 has got broken, and it has passed 61. I put it on the next high. I always considered 61 as a basis. I opened a buying position on the 61 that I know it's gonna break for sure, and I put a sell here. And another high was from here. I put it here, and I did a buy position above the 61 and got the profit from 78. But it has dropped right now. But in the weekly time frame, let it hit the 23. When it's the Fibonacci lines in the weekly time frame, in the normal Fibonacci is like this. You don't have the right to trade. You should wait for the 23 to go here, or when it passes the 61, do the buy position there. That's when the trend performs. But if you say that it's above 38 and do the buy position, it may not perform and go down and trouble you. It's the best situations you have right now. When it passes your 61, easily buy, but here you don't do it easily. You buy it easily and close it at 78. Or like another thing.
استاد سال قبلی
I have a question.
بفرمایید.
جناب آقای عبداللهی قبلی خب
Okay.
الان شما طلا هستی درسته؟
We're in the gold chart, right?
الان هیچ کار نمی‌کنم چون تو رو فیبومه.
بله
What?
ببخشید بله
من الان اینجا هیچ کار نمی‌کنم.
I don't do anything here because it's in my Fibonacci.
بین 50 و 38
Between
تا
50 and 38, you don't.
فیبوم هستش. خب
It's on my Fibonacci numbers, so I don't do anything.
من قانون من این حالا شما
My rule is this: you may go and find something else in there,
میتونیم پیدا
and you can find them. It's a normal.
یا 23 میخرم دقیقاً 23
I either buy on 23 or when my 61 breaks. I don't do anything else.
کندل حتما بسته بشه
Meaning,
که اینجا رد کرد مثل فیبوناچی معمولی دیگه
like the normal Fibonacci, when it passed 61, buy it. When the next candle forms above the 61, buy. 23, we should,
برخورد بکنه میخرم تا بالا.
when it hits it, I buy it until up.
23 چی؟
Or when it passes it
بله.
بعد ببندید.
downwards, you should close it.
منظورم نمیخرید اینجا.
اعتبار نداره.
You should erase this Fibonacci line.
فقط
This Fibonacci is get used for 61 and above. Why? Because it's the zone that you can buy surely and safely. Or like you have heavy lots here. And when I see that my 61 got broken, right, I surely do this and come here. Like the trades would be really intense.
ببخشید من یه سوال دارم.
Okay, I have a question.
یه بار پرسیدم
I've asked it once.
پیوت و اینا نیست دیگه.
It's not about pivots or something like that.
پول بک و این صحبت.
Like pullbacks or things like that. Not in here.
یعنی با احتمال بالایی میتونیم خرید.
So
و کندلستیک هم من ترکیبش میکنم.
I combine it with candlestick. When it starts on this above the second candle, I know the signal of the last candle. But we're just talking about Fibonacci right now. I will try to get to candlestick sooner so you would know rejections and anything like that. So you would have known your candlestick and pivot and get the signal from there. Like here, the last one, it was a rejection, right? Like 50 was a reject. It wasn't a break.
دقیقاً ارزم همچین چیزی. دقیقاً ارزم همین.
Because you had a pivot in the low. You have to learn the pivots because the rejections gets from pivots. We will get there. Just learn these. If I teach you candlestick and pivot right now, you would be stuck in the Fibonacci part.
من شاید عجله میکنم. مشابه همین
Similar to this pattern, if it gets on the 61, this pattern that you said, should we buy? It wouldn't be a reject. Like the 61 would be here. Where was your 61 before? After the pivot here, in the low here. Meaning the breakage of the pivot. I put a line there, okay? Okay, right. Can you mute yourself, please? Like here. It has passed my low. My 61 is here. It has passed my low. And the one that has been broken is my pivot. When you know pivots, you would know. Is it a breakage or is it a rejection? Like here, you see, like this. You see that it has come here and came back. Why do you think it has coming back? It's because there's an opening and closing of the candle pivot. It's in the same angle. That's why this candle has emptied all of a sudden. It's all because of pivots. I have finished Fibonacci. I will answer that question next session, and then I will teach you the pivots. That there you would know why did the candle make a shadow. These orange marks, they won't be in Android, right? Like in the Windows. The fractals, no, we will have it. So I should find it in the settings. Yes. Excuse me. How many types of Fibonacci is there? I won't teach the other types. Yourself don't work with them? No, ever. Okay. Excuse me. We had this minor, the middle, and major with same direction and reversal. Fibonacci. Whenever you have that like this, you have something like this, be sure and do your buying. Like when I know that something like this happens, to go buy. We do a lot of risk here because it's a constant. I have found it myself. Like I'm using it for like 6 or 7 years now. Like Dow Jones, that doesn't have any Fibonacci. When it goes straight up, we use this kind of techniques. Like look, like the Fibonacci of Dow Jones, it was here. Let me pull it up. Look here. When in a trend, you don't have the past of it, like Dow Jones. There is an angle in between, in the middle of the wave or in the beginning of it. When your trend is uptrend, there would be a drop here that has been a Fibonacci before. Itself was a Fibonacci, like it was a 61 or 50 or anything else. When you don't have a past, I have taught you 61, 50, and 89 even. It's the question that how do we know that it wants to form the Fibonacci? It's from the top to the bottom. Don't erase it. It's like the 161, 261 one. It's get used in these kind of situations. So this price, when our 100 gets broken, my price would go to 161. It would go back to the 100. There's reasons for not showing here. It would, if the 161 gets broken, it would go to 261. I don't know the number right now. It's 227. Okay. We have a Fibonacci number between these. What?
اسکیل لوگاریتمی نیست به خاطر اون توی چیزا نمیفته.
نمیدونم من اینا رو در
I don't know.
این محاسبات اینجوری شما اطلاع
I don't know the graphics of it. I haven't tried it. Because the Fibonacci isn't there, the numbers are not showing. Yeah, we add them by ourselves. But if it's they're in the books, I don't know them. But in general, so when sometimes when you don't have the past trend, how do we know the price move in the future by Fibonacci like this? Like in the middle of the wave, it's always like, or as they say, it's from the center that your main or major increasing has started. Not from here, not from here. It has started from here, the main one. You consider the highest high to the lowest, and that's your Fibonacci, like your central one. But the price is going back and forth for now. Like if you add the numbers, you would see that between these, like in the Wolf analysis, if the 2127 breaks, I would go back to 161. It's considered like this. According to this technique, what do we get here? The price is going back and forth in central pivots. The only thing that you can get is your minor Fibonacci. It would be this. The price wants to break the 89 and the candlestick and pivot. No. With this technique, can we do it here? I did it. Like when it has passed 61. Oh, you mean the candlestick? Oh, yes. We should replace the 0. Let me mark it. It should come to here until 89. And when I put it here, I change places with each other. The last high is here. I put it here. That would be our 61, obviously. When I fix it, it should just... So when it passes 61, we do a safely trade. Like according to pivots and candlestick, I know that there's a buy here. I know that until here I have a buy. Yes. When it breaks 61, you can easily do buying positions. How do we say easier? According to that Fibonacci numbers, like 50 breaks, buy until 61. 61 breaks, buy until 78. But here, you can buy until 78 for sure. And where is your 78? It's here. There's a pivot right here. Yes. The only thing that is better is that when the 61s break, you can safely trade until 78 and do buy positions. Did you understand? Yes. You should just practice. Okay. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
شما شماره های 23 گفتی 89
Like you have mentioned 23, 50, 89. We just get confused with these numbers. Why do you get confused? Can you give me a chart of these numbers or the formulas to see where to buy in 38, where to sell? No. You should wait. Next session, when we go to the pivot topic, according to that pivot that has been broken, like it would be 50 of Fibonacci, we can buy or sell. I won't show you any examples of selling or buying. I'm just telling you how they work. So how to buy, how to sell, your stop loss, your take profit is when you have mastered pivotology. But these are just tools to show your pivots. And what are the pivots? You would know next session. So you don't get us permission so you don't get permission to trade by pivots. Pivot, yes, but not Fibonacci. Next session where you learn the pivots, you would know when to trade. Because we didn't have any time to practice other topics, if it's heavy, can you start it on the next week? See, the next session, I will ask one of your friends questions. I think Thursday would be really close. Let us practice. Okay. Next session will be solving problems. Okay. Next session will be about solving problems, of your problems. Next session I won't say anything new. I will give you a chart and tell you to draw its Fibonacci. So I would know if you've learned Fibonacci completely. Write down the Fibonacci numbers now, the ones who didn't have it. From here and on. What's this right now? It's the numbers of Fibonacci, like 11, 78, and 81. Put these three. Go to the properties of Fibonacci, right click on it, properties, and put the numbers there. Does it want the points? Yes. The inventor of Fibonacci was American. I didn't read the book. I don't know. Was it American? I have a good movie about Fibonacci that Mr. Fibonacci himself made the movie. I will send it. Yeah, put it in the group chat. Can you repeat the numbers again? Add it, and I will tell you and I will type. 0.114. And the next one, the front of it, would be 11.40.
دست استاد باز.
Wait a minute please.
استاد فیبوناچی برای سال در واقع 1710